Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Good evening and a very warm welcome to all for today's first and foremost program of Friday Forum Kuwait Alumni Group. I welcome Mr. Muhammad Arif to give recitation from the Holy Quran.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. هو الذي جعل لكم الأرض ذلولا فامشوا في مناكبها وكلوا من رزقه وإليه النشور. صدق الله العظيم. It is Allah who made the earth tame for you. So walk among its slopes and eat of His provision. And to Allah is the resurrection. This is a very familiar ayah from the Surah Al-Mulk, which encourages Muslims to strive in seeking income or earnings without deviating from the principles of Islam. Islam doesn't obligate its followers to rely on their faith, but display their earnest effort to earn better investing and better living. As narrated by Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the person that is responsible in managing the wealth of an orphan has to invest it and don't let it finish. This hadith commands or signifies the importance of proper investments. The purpose here is to avoid the wealth from being decreased and depleted. On the other hand, if the wealth is wisely managed by involving it in proper investments, it can be multiplied, secured, and could be helpful for many. This ayah from Surah Al-Mulk and the hadith should encourage all of us to seriously think about proper investments and earnings, and at the same time realize the fact that Allah is the owner of all the wealth and we are just a trustee for a limited time. Jazakumullah khair. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you, Muhammad Arif, for your eloquent recitation, and it is very apt for today's topic. And thanks for the translation. I'm just entering the webinar. I'm Abdul and on behalf of Friday Forum Kuwait Alumni Group, I am very thankful and honored to welcome you all and introduce our chief guest and speaker for today's evening. Dear members, friends, members from other organizations in Gulf and Kerala, brothers and sisters, other guests present here for gracing this occasion through a virtual webinar during this pandemic time. I welcome you all. Engineer Muhammad Kuti Saib is our president. He will give an introduction of Friday Forum Kuwait Alumni and its activities. I welcome Muhammad Kuti Saib to this webinar. Now, the highlight of today's program is our chief guest and speaker, Mr. C.H. Abdul Raheem Sahib. Raheem Sahib is a chartered accountant and worked in senior position in multinational organizations in the Middle East, including senior position in SABIC, Saudi Arabian Basic Industries Group, and Tasni Petrochemical Company of Saudi Arabia. He is a former executive director and CEO of Kim's Health Group, former general manager of AACL, Alternative Investments Limited. He is a great visionary and a great motivation of today's young generation. Personally engaged as a business consultant and visiting faculty of Rajagiri and other business schools and universities. He is currently the chairman of SAFI. I am very honored to welcome you, sir, on behalf of Friday Forum Alumni Group and his executive members and members of the group.
Thank you.
I now welcome our President Mahmoudi Saab to give an overview of Friday Forum activities.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Nabir പറഞ്ഞതുപോലെ എല്ലാ മാസത്തിലെയും തേർഡ് ഫ്രൈഡേസ് ഇങ്ങനെ ഒരു പ്രോഗ്രാം നടത്താനാണ് നമ്മുടെ തീരുമാനം. അതിന്റെ ഇനോഗ്രൽ എപ്പിസോഡാണ് ഇന്നത്തേത്. അതായത് ഓരോ മാസവും ഓരോ VIP ഗസ്റ്റിനെ ക്ഷണിച്ചിട്ട് ഒരു അപ്രോപ്രിയേറ്റ് സബ്ജക്റ്റിനെ പറ്റിയുള്ള ഒരു ടോക്കും പിന്നെ നമ്മുടെ ഇൻഫോർമൽ ആയിട്ടുള്ള നമ്മുടെ ഒരു മീറ്റിംഗും ഇതിന്റെ ഒരു പ്രധാന ലക്ഷ്യം എന്ന് പറയുന്ന ഉദ്ദേശം ഈ നമ്മുടെ ഈ ഫ്രറ്റേണിറ്റിയെ ഇങ്ങനെ ലൈവായിട്ട് വളരെ വൈബ്രന്റ് ആയിട്ടും നിലനിർത്തുക, ഈ പാൻഡമിക് കാലത്തും ഇങ്ങനെ നിലനിർത്തുക എന്നത് തന്നെയാണ് ഒരു പ്രധാന ഉദ്ദേശം. പിന്നെ നമ്മുടെ ഇത് അവസാനിപ്പിക്കാൻ പോകുന്നത് നമ്മുടെ പി കെ ജമാൽ സാഹിബിന്റെ ഒരു നസീഹത്ത് കൂടിയാണ്. അത് നമുക്ക് കുവൈറ്റിൽ നിന്ന് തിരിച്ചു പോകുന്നതിന് ശേഷം നമുക്ക് മിസ്സായിക്കൊണ്ടിരിക്കുന്ന ഒരു സംഗതിയായിരുന്നു. അത് വീണ്ടും നമുക്ക് കിട്ടാൻ പോകുന്നു എന്നുള്ളൊരു സന്തോഷം കൂടി ഇതിലുണ്ട്. പിന്നെ നബിയെ പറഞ്ഞ മാതിരി ഇതില് ചില മെമ്പേഴ്സ് അല്ലാത്ത കുറച്ച് ഗസ്റ്റുകൾ കൂടി ഉണ്ടെന്ന് തോന്നുന്നു. അതുകൊണ്ട് ഫ്രൈഡേ ഫോറത്തിനെ പറ്റി 1-2 വാക്ക്. FFK എന്ന ഷോർട്ട് ഫോമിൽ അറിയപ്പെടുന്ന ഫ്രൈഡേ ഫോറം കുവൈറ്റ് എന്ന സംഘടനയെ കേട്ടിട്ടില്ലാത്തവരാരും ഇതിലുണ്ടാവില്ല. ഇത് കുവൈറ്റില് വളരെ അറിയപ്പെടുന്നതും അതിലേറെ ശ്രദ്ധിക്കപ്പെടുന്നതുമായ ഒരു ഗ്രൂപ്പാണ്. ഇതിന്റെ അംഗബലം കൊണ്ടല്ല ഇത് അറിയപ്പെടുന്നത്. പക്ഷെ ഇതിന്റെ പിന്നെ സാമൂഹ്യ സേവന രംഗത്ത് ഇതിന്റെ പ്രവർത്തനത്തിന്റെ മേന്മ കൊണ്ടും പ്രവർത്തനങ്ങളുടെ എണ്ണം കൊണ്ടും അതുപോലെ ഇതില് അംഗങ്ങളായിരിക്കുന്നത് എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് കുവൈറ്റിലുള്ള മലയാളി മുസ്ലിങ്ങളുടെ ഇടയിലുള്ള അഭ്യസ്തവിദ്യരായ ആൾക്കാരാണ്. അത് ഒരുപാട് ചാരിറ്റി പ്രവർത്തനങ്ങളും മറ്റ് എല്ലാ മേഖലയിലും അവിടെ ഇന്ത്യ പ്രവർത്തിക്കുന്നത് കൊണ്ട് അവിടെയുള്ള ബംഗാളി, പാകിസ്ഥാനി എല്ലാ കമ്മ്യൂണിറ്റിയിലും പെട്ട പാവപ്പെട്ടവർക്കെല്ലാം ഈ സംഘടന വളരെ പരിചിതമാണ്. അവിടെ ഒരുപാട് അവർക്ക് വേണ്ടിയുള്ള ഒരുപാട് പ്രൊജക്ടുകൾ ഞങ്ങളൊക്കെ ഉണ്ടായപ്പോൾ അവിടെ ഇൻവോൾവ് ആയിരുന്നു. ഇപ്പൊ ഞങ്ങളെ ഇവിടെ തിരിച്ചു വന്ന ആൾക്കാർ, ഫ്രൈഡേ ഫോറത്തിന്റെ ഭാരവാഹികളും അവിടുത്തെ പ്രവർത്തകരൊക്കെ ആയിരുന്ന ആൾക്കാർ കുറെ പേര് ഇവിടെ കാസർഗോഡ് മുതൽ അങ്ങ് കന്യാകുമാരി വരെ ഉള്ളവരുണ്ട്. ഇതിൽ മറ്റ് കാനഡയിലും കുവൈറ്റിലും ദുബായിലൊക്കെ ഉള്ള ആൾക്കാരുമുണ്ട്. അപ്പോഴേ ഇപ്പൊ ഇതും പിന്നെ ഇങ്ങനെ ഒരു കൂട്ടായ്മ ഉണ്ടാക്കണം, ഒരു അലുമിനി എന്ന പേരിൽ ഒരു കൂട്ടായ്മ ഉണ്ടായത് ഈ പാൻഡമിക്കിന്റെ കോവിഡിന്റെ ഒരു നല്ല വശമായിട്ട് നമുക്ക്, കാരണം അതിന്റെ നിമിത്തം ഈ കോവിഡാണ്. അപ്പോ ഈ കോവിഡ് ഒരു പരീക്ഷണമാണെങ്കിലും ചില നല്ല വശങ്ങളും അതിനുണ്ട് എന്നതാണ് നമ്മൾ മനസ്സിലാക്കുന്നത്. അതായത് ഒരു വിശ്വാസി അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഒരു മുഅ്മിൻ എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാല് പരീക്ഷണ ഘട്ടങ്ങളിലും അനുഗ്രഹങ്ങളിലും ഒരുപോലെ ദൈവത്തിന് നന്ദി പറയുന്ന, അൽഹംദുലില്ലാഹ് എന്ന് പറയുന്നവരാണ് എന്നാണല്ലോ. അപ്പൊ ഇതിലും നമ്മൾ താങ്ക്സ് ടു കോവിഡ് എന്ന് പറയേണ്ടിയിരിക്കുന്നു. നമ്മുടെ ഈ ഒരു ഫ്രറ്റേണിറ്റി ഉണ്ടായതിൽ ഇവിടെ എനിക്ക് തോന്നുന്നത് നമ്മള് കറക്റ്റ് ഒരു 4:30 ആകുമ്പോഴാണ് നമ്മുടെ സ്ട്രെങ്ത് ആവുള്ളൂ എന്ന് എനിക്ക് തോന്നുന്നത്. കാരണം 4:50 എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് സാധാരണ ഒരു ഓഡ് ടൈമാണ്. 4 കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ പിന്നെ 4:30 ആണ് ആൾക്കാരെ മെമ്മറിയിൽ നിലനിൽക്കുക. അതുകൊണ്ടായിരിക്കും ആൾക്കാരെ അങ്ങനെ കൂടി വരുന്നുണ്ട്. പിന്നെ ഇന്നത്തെ ഈ സമയത്തിന് വളരെ അനുയോജ്യമായ ഒരു വിഷയമാണ് റഹീം സാഹിബ് ഇവിടെ പ്രസന്റ് ചെയ്യാൻ പോകുന്നത്. ആ വിഷയം എന്തുകൊണ്ടും കൈകാര്യം ചെയ്യാൻ വളരെ അനുയോജ്യനായ യോഗ്യതയുള്ള ഒരു വ്യക്തിയെ തന്നെയാണ് നമുക്ക് ഇന്ന് കിട്ടിയിരിക്കുന്നത്. റഹീം സാഹിബിനെ നമുക്ക് ആദ്യത്തെ ഇതിന്റെ ഇനോഗ്രൽ സെഷന്റെ ഗസ്റ്റായി കിട്ടിയെന്നല്ല എൻ്റെ ഒരു പേഴ്സണൽ സന്തോഷം ഞങ്ങളോട് കൂടി പങ്കുവെക്കുകയാണ്. ഇപ്പൊ സാമ്പത്തികമായിട്ട് ഒരു ക്രൈസിസ് നമ്മുടെയൊക്കെ എല്ലാവരും ഇതിൽ 60-65 ഒക്കെ കഴിഞ്ഞവരാണ്. നമ്മുടെ എല്ലാം ജീവിത കാലഘട്ടത്തിൽ ഇത്രയും വളരെ ഈ ലെവലില് സാമ്പത്തിക തകർന്നു പോയ ഒരു സന്ദർഭം ആർക്കും നമ്മളെ ജീവിതത്തിൽ ഉണ്ടായിട്ടില്ല. ആദ്യമായിട്ടാണ് ഇങ്ങനെ ഉണ്ടാവുന്നത്. പിന്നെ ഒരു ഇൻകത്തില് ഒരു കുറവ് വരാത്ത ഒരാൾ പോലും ഇന്ന് ലോകത്തില്ല. വല്ലവരും ഉണ്ടെങ്കിൽ അത് സർക്കാർ ജീവനക്കാർ മാത്രമാണ്. സർക്കാർ ജീവനക്കാർ എന്ന് ഞാൻ ഉദ്ദേശിക്കുന്നത് സർക്കാരിന്റെ ചെലവിൽ ജീവിക്കുന്നവര്, അതായത് പെൻഷൻകാരും രാഷ്ട്രീയക്കാരും ഒക്കെ അതിൽ പെടും. ഈ ഒരു കൂട്ടർ ഒഴിച്ചാൽ, അത് കുവൈറ്റിലും അങ്ങനെ തന്നെയാണ്, അവിടെയും സർക്കാർ ജീവനക്കാർക്ക് ഒരു പ്രയാസം ഉണ്ടായിട്ടില്ല. മറ്റുള്ളവരെല്ലാം സാമ്പത്തികമായിട്ട് വളരെ പ്രയാസപ്പെടുന്നവർ തന്നെയാണ്. അത് ഞാൻ അവർക്ക് പിന്നെ സ്കൂളില് ചെറിയ ക്ലാസ് പഠിപ്പിക്കുമ്പോഴേ ഈ വാണ്ട്സ് ആൻഡ് നീഡ്, ഈ രണ്ട് വാക്കുകളുടെ വ്യത്യാസം പലപ്പോഴും മനസ്സിലാക്കാൻ പല കുട്ടികൾക്കും പ്രയാസമായിരുന്നു. എന്നിട്ട് അത് പലപ്പോഴും അത് പിന്നെ ഈ അത് ഉപയോഗിച്ച് വാചകം ഉണ്ടാക്കുക എന്നുള്ളത് പരീക്ഷയിലെ ഒരു ചോദ്യമാണ് പലപ്പോഴും, കാരണം അത് ഡിഫറൻഷിയേറ്റ് ചെയ്യാൻ അറിയില്ല. പക്ഷെ ഇന്ന് എല്ലാവരും അത് തിരിച്ചറിഞ്ഞിരിക്കുന്നു. അത് പ്രായോഗികതയിൽ കൂടെ ഒരുപാട് നമ്മൾ നീഡായിട്ട് കരുതിയിരുന്ന പല കാര്യങ്ങളും അത് അല്ലായിരുന്നു എന്ന് നമ്മൾ തിരിച്ചറിഞ്ഞു. ഇന്ന് വാണ്ട് എന്താണ്, നീഡ് എന്താ എന്നുള്ള തിരിച്ചറിവും കൂടി കോവിഡ് കാലഘട്ടത്തിന്റെ ഒരു ജനങ്ങൾക്കുള്ള ഒരു പിന്നെ വിദ്യാഭ്യാസമാണ്, ഒരു തിരിച്ചറിവ്. ഇതിനെക്കുറിച്ച് ജമാൽ സാഹിബ് ലോഗിൻ ചെയ്തോ എനിക്ക് അറിയില്ല.
ഇല്ല, ഞാൻ ജമാൽ സാഹിബ് ട്രൈ ചെയ്യുന്നുണ്ട്, വരും.
ഒരു പിന്നെ 2-3 ആഴ്ച ജമാൽ സാഹിബിന്റെ ഒരു പ്രഭാഷണം ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നു, മിനിമലിസം എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞിട്ട്. വളരെ നല്ലൊരു ടോക്കായിരുന്നു. അതായത് ജനങ്ങളൊക്കെ ഇപ്പൊ മിനിമലിസം പിന്നെ പ്രാക്ടീസ് ചെയ്ത് തുടങ്ങി. നമുക്കുണ്ടായിരുന്ന പല സംഗതികൾ, ഈവൻ ഡ്രസ്സസ് വരെ ഇന്നിപ്പോ എക്സസ് ആണ് എന്ന് നമ്മൾ മനസ്സിലാക്കുന്നു. ഈ ഒരു കാലഘട്ടത്തിലാണ് നമ്മൾ ഇൻവെസ്റ്റ്മെന്റിനെ പറ്റി എങ്ങനെ ഈ ക്രൈസിസ് കാലഘട്ടത്തില് പിന്നെ ഇൻവെസ്റ്റ്മെന്റിനെ പറ്റി എന്തൊക്കെയാണ് സൂക്ഷിക്കുക, അതിനെ പറ്റിയായിരിക്കും നമ്മുടെ പിന്നെ ഗസ്റ്റ് നമ്മളോട് സംസാരിക്കുക. അതുകൊണ്ട് ഞാൻ പിന്നെ അത് ദീർഘിപ്പിക്കുന്നില്ല. നമ്മുടെ ഇനിയും പിന്നെ കുറെ ആളുകളെ ഇൻഷാ അല്ലാഹ് റഹീം സാഹിബിനെ ശ്രവിക്കാൻ വേണ്ടി ഞാൻ നിർത്തുന്നു. അൽഹംദുലില്ലാഹി റബ്ബിൽ ആലമീൻ. അസ്സലാമു അലൈക്കും.
Thank you, Mahmoudi Sahib, for your presidential address and overview of the Friday Forum. Also regarding the current, an overview of the current topic you had given. I now welcome C.H. Abdul Sahib for today's topic to give us to address us regarding the today's topic, which is financial planning during the economic crisis. We all know that today the pandemic situations and the economic crisis, especially in India. So I think he will address us with the issues and solutions. And I welcome Raheem Sahib to address us. Thank you.
Thank you, Nabir Sahib. Assalamu alaikum. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. First of all, let me thank all of you for, especially the office bearers and the organization of this function, for inviting me. For me, it's a proud privilege. In fact, I know I'm very familiar with the Kuwait Friday Forum. Almost 2 decades back, I had the opportunity to interact with the forum and most of its members, especially Mahmoudi Sahib, Dr. Amir, Mr. Nawaz Labud, many others, and Nabir Sahib also. So for me, it is look like coming back home now. And also, I remember with gratitude, your organization supported us long back, about 25 years back, when I was part of Forum for Faith and Fraternity, and we are trying to distribute our magazine, Harmony. US is the first international forum which accepted it with great happiness and distributed even members. Similarly, when Safi came, I think Dr. Amir, Mahmoudi Sahib, everybody was there to welcome Siddiq Hasan Sahib and others. So forum, your forum has a great history, and so I'm really proud to be here with you. And I didn't know that this is the inaugural session, and so maybe I had that privilege also. Thank you. We will, I think as I informed Nabir Sahib, I have to leave by 5:30 because I have an unexpected office bearers meeting scheduled of Safi at 5:30. So, but I will be there until 5:30. So I'll try to finish it within 35-40 minutes of my presentation. Then maybe we'll have 10-15 minutes time for interaction. What I'm talking about, I was asked to talk about is financial planning during economic crisis. I think to me, financial planning is required anytime, but it's more so during the time of crisis. I also understand from Nabi Sahib that the participants are from varied from different fields. There are professionals who are still working like Dr. Amir and all. And there are retired people and there are businessmen and there are individuals. And I think there's a mix of people here. So I was not able to therefore to focus my presentation to one group. So this is a kind of a mix of everything. So it cannot be some are for the individual, some are for the businessmen and some of the organization. So it's a mix of everything. So you may find it not so comprehensive, but there is something little bit for everybody. But also at the same time, there is some of you must have heard some of things I'm going to say today in previous webinars because I've been doing it for last 2-3 months for different people. So there may be some repetition. So any one of you have attended previous sessions, and if it is a repetition, please forgive me. There is nothing I can do because some of these are equally good for everybody. And also what I'm going to say today, and which I've been saying so far, is very basic, very rudimentary, and no rocket science. And no, I will not be using any financial technical jargon as much as I can. But what is important is, even though these are simple, rudimentary, basic things, this is only idea is to remind you so that, knowing one thing is, but using it that in your day-to-day life is something else. So practicing what you know or what you hear is important, even though those things are basic and rudimentary. I want to share a presentation of mine. So if you can allow me with the, can you see the presentation?
Yes.
So talking about the crisis is real and it is very severe. As you all know, must have seen in the newspaper and television, in the last one quarter from April to June, the world nations, most of the industrial countries lost the GDP from 8 to 33% in different countries. Even all the G8 countries lost heavily. The highest loss was in USA with about 33% of the GDP, and India was about 24%. Probably GDP loss will not affect immediately the common people. What is more important is the massive loss of employment. Globally, about 300 to 400 million people lost their job in different fields. So not only regular workers in the factories, even the informal laborers. In each field, if you look at the airlines, hotels, anywhere, it's a heavy loss of employment. Even those who are left with an employment, as Mohammed Isab said that, there was a reduction in wage 30 to 40%. So that is also, even those who have a job, was totally different from what they used to be before the COVID. Now, if you look at America alone, they have this unemployment scheme, a monthly amount distributed by the government, those who have no job. During this period, 60 million additional people have joined for this government help. In India, you have seen the people, 100 million migrant workers literally on the road. So they were walking, dying, and starvation, nowhere to sleep, nowhere to go. This is probably the biggest tragedy that happened in the whole world, because people dying on the street. After they all gone to their home, there was no job also. There is a government scheme called the Rural Employment Guarantee, Mahatma Gandhi Rural Employment Guarantee Scheme. Basically, തൊഴിലുറപ്പ് പദ്ധതി നമ്മൾ പറഞ്ഞ സാധനം. അതിൽ there were 62 million people registered last three months in that. In that scheme, you get 150 rupees or 200 rupees a day maximum, that too for 3 days in a week. So that's the kind of despair people were. And in the pandemic, 1 million people died. These are, most of you know that these death numbers are all fudged. In India, we are talking only 100,000 people, but people are saying privately, it must be at least 3 times of it, because North India, nobody cares who dies in the villages and the rural areas. So the death is much more than what we see in the newspaper and the television. So each person, there will be 4 or 5 dependent. So, it touches almost 10 million people because people who have died. In Kerala, it is still worse. We have 350,000 expatriates coming back from different parts of the Gulf to Kerala. And that itself is a big loss. Again, 350,000 people, at least 4 or 5 people depending on them. And while they were in the Gulf, according to the at least estimate, if you look at 10,000 rupees savings per month, we're talking about 350 crores loss per month from these 350,000 people alone. So this, as Mamati Sahib said, this kind of a disaster is first in all our life. And the most recent what we saw was the 2008 financial crisis. But that crisis was only a financial crisis, only mostly in banking sector. Now we are talking about a financial crisis combined with health crisis. So if you take one, you have to leave one. That is the pathetic condition we are. You cannot have health and the money together. Either you accept health or wealth. That's what the situation is asking us. So if you look at anyway, the crisis is really real and severe. So even before the crisis, unfortunately, in India, the economy was. Can you see the presentation, Mohd sir?
Yes.
Okay. Even before the crisis, unfortunately, the Indian economy was always strained. This infamous demonetization killed the informal economy. 75% of our employment is in this informal economy. All these, small farmers, the street vendors, the carpenters who come and fix your house, the technician, the electrician come to your house to fix your bulb, you name it. About 75% of our employment is in informal sector, and that's where the money is generated. The economy that was the nerve center of the economy. As Dr. Manmohan Singh said, that economy was killed by demonetization. Employment, the informal economy is almost 10 times of that employed in the listed companies. And if you look at 500 listed companies in the Bombay Stock Exchange, the total employment potential is only 1/10 of what is in the informal economy. After that, the GST management is totally ruined the traders. There was total confusion, and there is about 2 lakhs crore rupees still pending from the central government as the share of the GST to be paid to the states, not paid. So the state economy is strangled. So the GST is in a mess. Similarly, the pro-rich attitude of the government, which was followed after the 2019 election, even before that, was another big issue. So 50% of our export is from the small-scale industry. We are talking about all these foreign exchange reserve because of the exports. 50% of our export is from the small sector. So now the banks, after the COVID, the banks are after them, and at the same time, the Adanis and Ambanis are making their life much more brighter, and people like Malias, Ranaway, nobody is talking about this. If you look at the pathetic condition of the economy even before the COVID, in the first week of March, if the 500 companies listed, A-rated companies, including Tata, Birla, and all that, listed in Bombay Stock Exchange, when analyzed the balance sheet, 45% of them, about 220 of them, did not have money to pay 1 month's wages to their people. So that was the condition of our economy just before COVID. So the Punenvel Kuri and the Barjamadri, Darte Abala Pina Garbania and the Barjamadri, and that is how our economy got affected by the COVID. But as again Muhammad Sahib reminded us that we as Muslims, we cannot be completely despaired, and we cannot be disappointed and sitting quiet. If you look, sitting quiet, disappointed, and frustrated, nothing will work. Especially we are all believers, we believe in destiny, and so we need to move on. So if you look at our history, all the crises were opportunities, and that is where the people were made successful.
Tasneem.
Sorry. Okay, if you look at the history of the successful people, all of them have converted their crisis to opportunity. Even in Islamic history, if you look at it, you look at the Hijrah, that was a most painful experience for Prophet personally, because he has lost all his, he has to leave back all his tribes and family members. His prestige was lost because he was driven away from his home. But what has happened after reaching to Medina? In Medina, he converted that disaster of Hijrah, or that what we call crisis of Hijrah, into a big opportunity where we created a model pluralistic state and society, which is in still history is the best example for a pluralistic country, where the Jews, the Christians, and the Muslims all live together. Even the Muslims being a minority, they were able to lead the country. So this is a biggest example in history where the crisis was converted to opportunity. Similarly, if you look at the Hudaybiyah Pact, again, that was a time when the leadership of the Prophet himself was questioned, because there was all the Sahabis was against that pact. The hardliners, of course, like Umar, were totally against it. He walked out of the negotiation table. A soft-spoken Uthman was very upset. He talked to Prophet ﷺ personally, and the most pragmatic person, Abu Bakr, who is considered to be an intellectual person like Ali. He also went to talk to Prophet, saying that we cannot go with this pact. But Prophet persisted, and it turned out to be the best decision. And next year, there was big successful march to Makkah. So this is our history. But even if modern history, look at Japan after the World War, they came back, and when we were in the college, everything was made in Japan. Similarly, more recently, Russia, after the communism collapsed, it came back now. Now they are talking in the same terms, flexing muscles with America. So none of these crises has gone waste if you look at the history. Now, going back to financial planning. Financial planning, I think we need to understand a few elements of financial planning. There are two sides of financial planning. Of course, that one is on the income and expenditure. But today, I think the income, there is much talk about, even though there are a few basic things we can discuss. But I think we'll be talking more on the expenditure. So if you want to do a real financial planning, you need to look at both sides, both the income side and the expenditure side, just not the one side of. Maybe our income is now out of our control because we lost job or our salary is reduced. But what we need to keep in mind when we are doing the financial planning is the expenditure is totally within our control now. This is very important. The expenditure, our expenditure, whether it is personal or it is business, that is totally under our control now. I think that is where the planning will work much better. And also, when we plan, we cannot plan it ourselves. There are a lot of stakeholders with that. For example, if we have a problem, our personal income, the first person who should be knowing this is your wife and your grown-up children. So any adjustment in your lifestyle has to be discussed with them first. Otherwise, it will not be successful. Similarly, if you are a businessman, your employers should be told first, because they are your key people, and your suppliers, your customers, all of them should be informed properly. When you have a problem in your business, now there is no point in not attending to the telephone. You need to be upfront and keeping all those people informed. Similarly, socially, you may be a big contributor to a local committee, Pali committee and all. You are not able to contribute. You should be upfront telling them, look here, for next 6 months, don't look at me. I will not be able to help you. So I think this financial crisis, what is important is don't try to handle yourself. Don't pretend that, this is nothing. I have seen bigger than this. I can handle it. No, this is much bigger than that. So you need to involve all the stakeholders, as I just explained. Now let's talk a little bit about the planning of the income. I think most important thing we need to keep in mind in planning income is you should keep the status quo. Say, for example, if you are an employee and your salary is reduced by even 50%, don't change to move. Don't try to move. Don't change your job now. This is not the time to change your job. because it's very difficult to get another one. Plus, even if you get another one, the salary they are offering will be, there is an opportunity cost much lower than even the 50% of what we are getting now. So that is a foolish thing to do. So as I said earlier, these are very rudimentary, basic thing. You will be knowing it, but this is a reminder. Similarly, if you're an ex-businessman, I don't think that unless you have plenty of money, which we will talk later, this is not the time of expansion. This is a time of consolidation. So hold on to all the expansion plan. If you are halfway through, don't think that, let me just complete it so that I need only 30% of the plan now. Please don't do that. Keep it on hold. Wait for there will be better opportunity for you to do that. But most importantly, on the income side, I think as somebody else has mentioned in the welcome speech mentioned, you should not compromise on principle. Make sure that the situation did not ask you to compromise your principle. Ensure that you are still eating halal earning and you don't do anything bad. If you have to also keep all our promises and honor all your contracts. For example, if you have to pay a loan back, if you are not, take consent if you want to break your contracts. If you want to pay, you have to pay back some loan, go and ask them, tell them that, sorry, we cannot do this now, give me 6 more months time. Don't keep quiet. Similarly, if you have a rent of your premises, if you are not able to pay, go and talk to the landlord and say that I cannot pay. So just don't break it and say that this is my right, this is COVID, I will not pay. That is not the Islamic way. If there were a contract, both parties to the contract to agree for a change. But I'm sure if he is a reasonable person, they will agree. So definitely, you should be very careful on that. I think these are the only a few things you can now plan on the income. But probably you can do more things on the expenditure. Let's look at on the personal expenditure side first, then we will go. And assuming that you are business people also, I have a few things on the business expenditure also. So on the personal expenditure, this is most a part of the current crisis because this definitely has to be planned well. And what I'm going to talk about here is very rudimentary again. You need to start with your family. You need to have a family budget now. Earlier, we were not very careful. We can buy whatever I think we need. And whenever we go out to Lulu or somewhere, we buy whatever we buy. That has to be changed. You should have a family budget. On a monthly basis, you and your lady of the house should sit together, agree, and say, this is what we are spending 10,000 rupees prior to COVID, but we need to reduce it. Aim for at least 10 to 15% reduction because your salary is down by 30%. So at least half of that you should compensate in your monthly expenditure, home expenditure. There are a few tips I can give you. How do you do it? Avoid all the branded goods. There are good clothes, good footwear available even without going for Arrow or Park Avenue. Similarly, completely avoid certain food habits, bakery items. I'm sorry if there are any bakery owners here, excuse me. Bakery items is something not only completely avoidable, plus it will help you to get your health also better because you don't get any better in your health by eating bakery items. And also, please avoid organized retail shop like malls. See, malls are where you buy things, at least according to their own theory, established theory and statistics. 30% of the purchases we make in a mall are unplanned. Means this is something we don't need. We just buying it because we saw that, and that's why we are buying it. So please avoid the larger organized retail mall. Go to a small corner shop and depend on them. This will help you two ways. The corner shop fellow is also in trouble. So it will help him also to maintain and sustain. So just if you do that and you are doing two things, one is good for you, you spend less. Secondly, you help the corner shop person because he's also in trouble. And watch your healthcare habits. You see, I have an habit that, even if we have a temperature, we have a headache, we have a stomach ache, we go immediately to a big doctor. And not only a doctor, it should be definitely an MRCP doctor. And that MRCP doctor should be one of these 5-star hospital. Honestly, this is all waste. I know I was running an hospital myself. I should not say this, but this is the fact of life. Your headache will go if you drink some more water, or if you sleep for some time, your headache will go. Similarly, your temperature will go. So our habit of, especially in Kerala, our habit of healthcare should change, and you can save a lot of cost there. Then review the children's education cost. This is where we are all, spend a lot of money. Of course, we say that we are all working for our life for the sake of our children, true. But you can rationalize it. See, for example, if you have a plan of sending your children abroad now, don't do that. Wait for maybe if he's in graduate, you can send him for post-graduation. Even if you have money, my advice is don't send it, because that money you need for a contingency. Similarly, if a common person, if there is good government school in the locality, when you come back from an NRI, please send it to government school. You don't have to send him in a 10 kilometer away in a private school, because nowadays the government schools are equally good. And of course, your celebrations has to be reduced. I don't want to dwell on much now, because CG, MSS, most of you are in those organizations. We talked about all this, the haram of this all ostentatious celebrations of marriage and everything else. Please, fortunately, we are now forced legally to cut it to 100 people, and stay that way for next 2 years if you can. And one of the leading investor and the world number 2 richest man is Warren Buffett. He has a famous saying: if you buy things you do not need, soon you will have to sell things you need. And this is very true. We have seen in our lives several times. If you buy things you do not need, just because you like it, you saw it in Lulu or somewhere or big mall, soon you will have to sell things you need, because you know what you have done is wrong. So that is on the personal side, and I assume that there are a few businessmen, so maybe I'll go through quickly on the business side also. As I said in the first slide, this is a time for consolidation. Close all your unviable units and branches. There is no, believe me, there is no room for sentiments now. You are saying that this is my oldest branch, this is close to my house, this street in Kuwait is most important. But your branch is not doing well, and you say my brother-in-law is in charge, I cannot ask him to go. All that is secondary. For you need to survive, your survival is very important. For you to survive, you have to close down those branches and units which is making loss for you. Similarly, you may be selling a lot of products from China and other places, and some of these products may be, you will be a prestigious product for you. But if it doesn't make any money, there is no profit, please stop it immediately. And this is the time to do that. And also reduce your overall working capital. Your stock must be reduced as much as you can. You should reduce your credit sales. You think that you can get more profit from the credit sale. That's not, normally doesn't happen, because you end up in a lot of bad debts and that is gone. So this time is not the time to take those kind of risk or luxuries. Similarly, look for cost reduction. Reduce manpower cost. We all say that, when we look at our business, or even other privately in other things, our organizations and all, we will say, oh, this person, you cannot dispense him. There'll be a big problem if you let him go. There is no such thing like that now. Even the most, you will look at all the opportunities to let them go. This is not the time for Raheem also, unfortunately, because again, the survival is the issue. And rationalize your operation. You have to talk to the next door man. If there is a warehouse, you can share with him. If you have transportation, you can share with him. All that you'll do. And also seek cooperation from peer traders. See, for example, what happens in our country and all our goods are either purchased from Delhi, Pune, or Delhi or somewhere. And all of us order in small quantity, then you don't get the economy of scale. If you talk to 2-3 of your friends doing same business, join together and order together. So that will give you a lot of 10-15% difference in your price. Similarly, look for opportunities of consolidation, merger. So even nowadays, even a small places like Panchayat Center and all, you have 10-15 shops of the similar nature. 10 years back, 15 years back, maybe 2 or 3 shops. So go and talk to 2-3 people and see you can combine your shops into one shop, one brand. You may think that this is all nonsense I'm talking. It's not practical. Believe me, it's practical. Let me give you an example. Last year, when Jio comes, both the Vodafone and Idea telephones got into big trouble. Both Vodafone and Idea, their owners are the richest people in India, richest corporate house. But they didn't give a damn. They went and amalgamated, merged themselves and wanted to one company, because that is the only way they could fight Jio. So this is happening all over, not only in India, all over the world. So we cannot just neglect that, those kind of things. So please do that. And also you need to innovate. There should be global solution for local problems. See, now we are facing, all the business people are facing biggest threat from e-commerce, from all the big basket and Amazon and all of them. But you can make a local small mini Amazon big basket in your locality. You can connect people through WhatsApp, you can home delivery, all those, this can be done. I have a nephew of mine who came from Dubai, young fellow. He made a small app for the 25 traders in Kasaragod, and he's trading their goods in a platform, small platform, and he makes 1 lakh rupees sales a day, and he get 10%. So there is a lot of opportunities for innovate, and we also should be willing to change our business now if there is an opportunity. For example, if you are selling a washing soap, probably with a small addition of a machine, you can change it to a sanitizer now. So a lot of even a small local trader, if you are, say for example, for me, I'm a farmer also. If you are selling coconut, you try to, instead of selling coconut, try to convert it to copra and sell it. So there is a value addition. So you should look at for value addition and changes. And this is the only way you can survive in this COVID and this competitive time. And the next important thing is for all, not only for individuals, but also for the businessmen. Assuming there are the important planning part of part is, please don't get into a debt trap, because this is nothing to do with Islamic finance zone. This is the world economist and the modern economist saying. I am not quoting anything from Islamic economists. This is world economist saying that debt trap is the most important. We should be very careful of. Debt is not the solution for your problem. You are only adding problem by taking that. You are only adding your worries. If you are constructing a house, for example, with a loan, please stop it immediately. This is not the time. Even if it's halfway through, please. See, some of this I'm saying, you may think I'm very harsh, but these are harsh realities. You need to think into your mind and think about it. So if you are in the middle of building a house with a loan, stop it immediately. Our home is not an end in itself. See, somehow we have this feeling that unless we have our own home, we are doomed. You probably know that, I don't know, I'm sure most of you know, in Europe, the Western rich countries, not even 50% people have their own homes. They're all staying in rented houses. So nothing happens if you don't have a room. We don't have to build a home with a loan. And if you are a businessman, and if you are planning again to construct your house, don't do that, please. Put that money in your business. That will make you more happy, because you are a mental peace, because you are more money in the working capital. And if you want more capital to revive your business, don't take loan again. Take additional partners. Now, this is a good opportunity look for some NRKs coming back and where some surplus money want to invest. I think I talked this in the last CG meeting also. This is something I want all of your organizations to pursue. If you can match people who are in need of money, local traders, businessmen, and with the people who are coming back from the Gulf with surplus money, that's a big service we are doing to both of them as well as to the community. So if you can do that. Similarly, you liquidate your own non-core asset. You may have some land somewhere you bought when you have surplus money, or you have more than one vehicle, sell them, use that money. So taking a loan is the last thing you do it. According to Dr. Joseph Stiglitz, he has written a very beautiful book called Free Fall. It's about 3-4 years back after the 2009 crisis he wrote. According to him, after analyzing all the world economies of large corporations and nations, he's saying that the root cause of all financial crises, either personal, corporate, or national, is excessive leverage. Also, please remember, if you take a debt, for example, for your house, you are giving a burden. God forbid something happened to you, you are giving a burden to your children. So they may not be able to repay that without selling that same house. And it may be very difficult for them to sell that house. Islam, if you're coming back to that, is totally discouraged debt. There was an instance, if you look at Hadith, Prophet even declined to pray a janazah of a person who was in huge debt. When the janazah was brought to the Medina mosque, Prophet was sitting outside the mosque. Sahaba said, there is a janazah, let's pray. He said, no, I know this person. You please go and pray, I'm going. We had a lot of debts. In another occasion, again, Prophet was sitting with companions. There was a janazah of a Jew taken aside. He stood up and respected that janazah. So look at the way our religion treated, and look at what the modern economists talk about debt. Please don't, we take it very light. വളരെ ലാഘവത്തോടെ നമ്മൾ കടം എടുക്കുന്നത്. എന്തിനും കടം. മോട്ടോർ ബൈക്ക് മക്കൾക്ക് കടം, വീട് വെക്കാൻ കടം, ബിസിനസ്സിന് കടം, മക്കളെ കല്യാണത്തിന് കടം, ആശുപത്രി പോകാൻ കടം. Please don't do that. This is the big disservice you are doing to your finance as well as your personality. The other flip side of the debt is savings. And let's talk about a little bit of that. Actually, savings is the best key to financial success. When you are, if you are going to retire, after some time, if you save, you can travel. Your retirement will be very easy. If you want to do something after you come back from the Gulf, you need this savings. If you want to do some business. So saving is what is going to make your financial success. Do not see what Baron Buff again said. This is a very important saying. Do not save what is left after spending, but spend what is left after saving. This is very important. You keep first 10-15% of your money set aside for saving. Then spend only from the remaining 80-85%. This is the rule. So do not say, don't think that I will save something after all expenditure. It will not happen. You have to save before you spend. Spend what is left after saving. The financial strength of all time is measured in the quantum of saving, even if it is individual, corporate, nation. Now, we talk about the country's budget. If it is a surplus budget, we are all happy. There is a deficit budget, we are saying that it's not good. Why? Because there is no saving. So those who are working in the Gulf, their best repatriation plan is save a lump sum on a monthly basis, fixed amount. This is much better than you are saying that I'm going to build my house. I'm planning to go after 5 years. I need a house. No. House you can build after you come back. You may even decide to go and settle somewhere in Turkey or on some other place after you come back. Cash is the king. So don't do these things when you are there. When you are there, save as much as, put it in cash. You put it in the bank, nothing will happen. Even if there is a normal bank, put it in the bank, no issue. But don't put in your fixed assets or in a house before you come, because it can influence, then that will drive you when you come back. Your home will drive you. Or you bought a land somewhere, that will drive your life. So don't let it happen. Same thing what we do is the credit card culture. Especially, I don't know anybody is from Dubai. I know in Dubai, the credit card culture is a ruinous thing in our society. Some people from Kasaragod, I know, have 5, 6, 7, 8 credit cards. When they exhaust one, they take another one, and the third one, and the fourth one. And how many of you I don't know, who pay all your credit card. If you don't pay on time, the credit card interest rate is 50 to 60%. Yesterday, HDFC, I was very surprised. I was writing these notes yesterday. I saw an HDFC notification. They reduced the credit card interest from 65% to 60%, you believe it or not. So this is how the credit cards are working. So please discourage. Don't, for God's sake, don't give your credit card number to your children who are in the college. Our wards should be encouraged for saving from an early age. They should be, on the other hand, they should be given a passbook, savings bank account, and ask them to save 1,000 rupees, 500 rupees every month. Don't give parents credit card code number to them. Please. I know a couple of my friends who are rich people though. Their children are operating. One day I saw a message coming on their phone. I said, what is he? He said, well, my son has taken money, 10,000 rupees. I said, what are you doing? You are crazy. So please don't do that. Don't give your credit card PIN or number to your children. Give them separate money. Let them manage their money. So we need to practice this, and otherwise we will be in trouble without we even knowing it. All of you must have seen that famous movie Diamond Necklace of Fahad Fasil. And if you didn't see it, go and see it. You will see what is the problem of the credit card, and very beautifully predicted. Now we are talking about, we are running out of time. I have only 10 minutes left now. So Now talking about whatever is now left in savings, let's see how we can invest. There is risk in an investment. There is no such thing as free lunch. If you look at anyway, there is risk. So you need to have understand that there is risk in all the investment, whatever it may be. There are a few rules. So I understand in the investment, don't be greedy. Don't say that I need 20%, 25%. You have been doing real estate. You are spoiled with this real estate, buying land and selling it. That should not be your benchmark. You have to moderate your expected return on investment. Also, as you all know, higher the return, higher the risk. You will lose the principal if you go for the highest return investment. And one golden rule in investment is don't put all your eggs in one basket. Select 2, 3, 4, 5 items and or at least 2 or 3 different areas and invest. And also look for long-term investment, not very short, because if you're all retired people and you are mature people, enough money to live on a day-to-day basis, your investment should be more of a long-term instead of you making quick money. Quick money is not stable. That is what the history is and all the instances, probability theory and all saying. Similarly, don't do something, avoid something totally unfamiliar to you. There are a lot of phony schemes now. Scheme you can see. Even Islamic schemes, I get a lot of schemes saying that multiple by in 3 years, multiple in 4 years and all stupid nonsense. There is nothing multiplying 2 or 3 years in Islamically. That's all humbug. So don't go for these phony schemes. Even if some of your close friends are asking me to do something, investments, knowing business or whatever, I remember what Reagan told Gorbachev those days. We trust you, but we'll verify. So trust them, but please verify. Gorbachev told Reagan that we don't have any nuclear, our nuclear is only to this much heads. Then Reagan told him, yes, Mr. Gorbachev, we trust you, but we'll verify. So this is what I want to tell you. If some of your close friends or associates come and say there is a good investment, there is an opportunity, please verify yourself. Quran says, it's a beautiful ayat in Surah An-Nisa. Don't entrust your wealth with incapable people to manage it. This is a very basic principle. So please study that ayat, and it is talking about in terms of the orphans, but this is applicable to Muhammad Asad says is applicable for any time. So this is the basic rule on the investment. Let's see what are the 2-3 options for investment. One is, of course, the real estate. All of us know that. It's the most safest one, no question about it. But when you do look at real estate, look at long term. Don't think about buying and selling. Those days are gone. This is a good if you get a good rental income from a real estate investment, that's a good retirement plan. And also, even if your money, don't buy too big real estate. Go for medium size, buy 2. If your money, buy 2 instead of 2 small one instead of a big one. This will be less risky in a downtrend. And if you want to build your own, go for not too costly projects. Like a student hostel is a very remunerative, less expensive, but relatively better return. Middle class housing, small size, 800, 900 square feet, 2000 rupees per square feet cost kind of thing. Small commercial building, this will be much better than going for big projects. Even if you are trading in land the traditional way, go for medium term, 5 years. Don't think that you buy it and keep the document in agreement. After 6 months, you can sell it. Those are all gone. And that is also not halal, to be strictly speaking. So go for a longer or at least medium term, 5 years investment in land if you want to. Also look for futuristic location. Don't buy land in prime location because the possibility of stagnation is high. And in the real estate, you don't have much big return. It is very conservative. You may get 5 to 6% on your rental. That's all. As I said earlier, one of the opportunities is joining the existing business. I think that is the most intelligent to do that. The people may be needing money. Businessman will be needing money to replace his loan. Or you want to expand his business. Very good business, very profitable business. You want to expand it. Maybe you also working capital shortage. You want to buy in bulk or buy in cash instead of credit. So those people will need additional capital, so join them. But you should be very careful in selecting your partners. As Prophet said, It's not necessarily good, always good people are the people who pray in the same mosque with you. You know, there was an occasion he wanted to send a Sahabi for an errand, and somebody recommended, one of the close Sahabi recommended a person. Then the Prophet asked him, you may be knowing the story. How do you know him? He said, we pray 5 times in the same mosque. Then Prophet said, no, he's not the person whom you should trust. He said, then the Prophet asked the Prophet, who else you are looking for? Then Prophet said, either you should, who is your neighbor, or who have traveled with you on a long journey, or who had some financial transaction with you. So please make sure that you select the right partners. Once you select the partners, make sure you have a proper agreement. All terms and conditions listed, agreed and documented. This is also instruction from Quran. Surah Al-Baqarah, the largest ayat in Quran is on documenting your transaction. Similarly, make sure books of accounts are kept. No verbal agreement, no verbal kadati, nothing. Just make no piece of paper. Make sure you keep it properly. And believe me, avoid this number 2 accounts. I know that many of the partnership failure is because this bloody number 2 account. I myself has been negotiating on working sulh for partnership people who have been stuck with this because this number 2 accounts. So these are a few rules on your partnership joining with somebody. And this is starting new business. I will not spend much time on it. This is not the time start. In my opinion, I am a very conservative finance man. In my opinion, this is not the time to start any new business unless you have plenty of money, which will I come to that. Still, there are few people who are interested. They can look at these things. Market condition is bad. Recovery will take at least 2 years to the normal, pre-COVID normal, in my opinion. In Kerala, only there are very limited avenues. You need, if at all you want to do some business, you need huge investment because the competition is very high, not only from India, your competition is in a globalized situation now. International companies are competing with you. If at all you want to take the risk and plunge now, there are a few things you can look at it. Kerala is a big consumer market. So identify some consumer goods so that it's not industrial goods or something. See, for example, even chicken and egg is brought from outside Kerala. We don't produce enough egg, enough chicken for us to eat. Similarly, food-based industries, IT-based industries, service industries have better scope. So just look at those areas if at all you want to do this. And also, please don't do it alone with small amount of savings. Do it, pool with your friends or associates and make a good lump sum amount before you start it. It will do good two things. One is it will reduce your risk because you will not put 100% of your savings, and also it will be biggest capital. And of course, you need to conduct professional feasibility study before you start anything. There is also a new possibility now, and this possibility is real. So if you want, need a new opportunity and somebody who has some good money, this good opportunity, startup companies. So startup companies are in 3-4 stages. One is just the idea, somebody, a smart kid in a college, an engineering college, in a final year has a very good idea. The idea is only in the paper. That is the earliest stage of a startup. Then after, the next stage is somebody has an idea, then a prototype of a product is prepared based on that idea. The third stage is after the prototype is produced, some products are introduced because they got a manufacturing facility, do some products and some sample products are made. The last stage in a startup is there's a certain level of traction and revenue. Some goods are produced, goods are sold, and there is revenue. So these are the 3-4 different stages of startup. This is good for those who want to take some risk. And this all, they call it angel investors or pre-series investment, means there'll be less profit, but there is more in value appreciation after 2-3 years. So rate of success, but is very less. It's 1 in 3, 1 in 4 is the rate of success all over the world, but in Kerala and India, in Kerala especially, out of the 3 or 4 companies, only successful. But definitely the valuation is much better. You get 3 or 4 times value in 2-3 years. Ecosystem in Kerala is good because a lot of government support now. There is capital gain tax exemption, there is seed capital, there is rent-free startup village, and all that is available. Then investment range also depends on which stage you invest in the above 4. You can even, if you have $100,000, you can invest it. Even $50,000, there are smaller companies. you can go to 1 million. So this is a good avenue. If somebody want to explore, we can personally or I can individually talk to them separately. Stock market is another place where our people are not very much experienced, but this is a growing thing, and there is of course need to professionally do it. It is very risky for individuals. So India, believe it or not, has the world's largest ecosystem of listed Sharia compliant companies. You may be sounding it very strange, but in India, according to many of the Sharia board definition, we are more Sharia compliant companies. If you put Pakistan, Bangladesh and Turkey together, we are more than all the three together added. So several international investment agencies have investment in India because India is a very supposed to be very strong stock market. People like Qatar Foundation has been a very regular investor, very strong investor in Bharat. One of their biggest investment was Bharati Airtel, which they sold recently for a good money. Very volatile, as I told you, sensitive to several factors. You know, we used to say when we were young, Dr. Manmohan Singh bought the global, the free economy. The stock market went to the sky. Then people used to say when Manmohan Singh has a fever, stock market will go down. So that is how sensitive it is. So as I said, individuals cannot be an informed investor. So you need to use brokers or a lot of wealth management institution. You got to be very professionally managed because the success in stock market is basically one or two. One is selecting the script. Secondly, the timing of coming in and going out. These are the two important things in stock market investment. But for us, an individual, even if you are an expert in finance, it is very difficult because it's a different animal altogether. So you need to engage a broker or wealth management. So it's always good to do it through mutual fund routes. There are Sharia compliance mutual fund like Taurus Mutual Fund, even Tata has an ethical fund, most probably you know that. So there is also a decent return if you hold it for 5 to 7 years. When you hold it for 5 to 7 years, instead of selling short within 5 months, 6 months and all, you get both appreciation as well as dividend. So stock market is a viable investment provided you use a professional agency and you do it professionally. See, this is just an example to tell you, the MIT of America, they have a big portfolio in India. And these are the companies they have. I looked at this, I borrowed from a slide from some other presentation. So look at the companies they are investing. They're investing all the good companies. They know what to select. So if you have a little professional body, they can help you. They have they have brick and mortar companies in it. They have IT companies in it. They have a fertilizer company in it. There are a finance company in it. So it's a good mix there. So this is the kind of mix you should look at it when you invest in stock market. I think it's 20 now. I need to have 5 minutes more. Okay. Sorry. If you want to have, this is another last, I think I have only 2 more slides. The fixed return is, I know everybody is looking for, but that is unfortunately very limited Sharia compliant options because it is an antithesis. In Sharia, fixed return is like interest, so you cannot expect it. But there are a few agencies who are doing it. Rahabar Financial Services based in Bangalore is one of them. You can invest in the form of debentures. They are taking it. They invest in profit loss sharing companies as well as equipment leasing. Average return for the last 3 years, they were giving about 10%. You can liquidate the money also if you want to within 6 months notice. You can contact them in this info@rahabar.coin. But I want to warn you that I'm a member of the board there. There is a conflict of interest. But I want to give you this information if somebody is interested. So please note that you can contact them. They give you a fixed return with a Sharia investment. Okay, this is the flip side of the story because as I said, every opportunity, every crisis there is a opportunity. Similarly, one man's misery is always another man's luck. So those who have money, this is a good opportunity to invest. And this is true more in the world of finance. For those who have liquid surplus fund now, crisis is always an opportunity. You can buy a lot of companies who are going out of operation because of debt and all. It's a good opportunity for those who have money to invest. And also look at new areas of business like post-COVID, hospital services, medical consumables, health drinks, a lot of new opportunities are coming. So those who have money, this is the right time to invest also your surplus money. Look at what Reliance has done. So they have got 200,000 crores rupees investment during last 3 months in their company, in Jio and other. And they have acquired at least 5-6 large companies now. They acquired the Big Bazaar, they acquired the Nilgiris. They acquired a lot of web-based companies, IT companies. So this is those who have money. This is a good time also. And by the way, real estate is the lowest point of the curve now. And you have money, surplus money. This is the right time to invest real estate also. This is a bit sad kind of a slide because I want to show this also. This is for those who despair, means retired people with advanced age, with limited income, and that kind of the worst sufferers. There is a new thing that introduced by Indian Bank recently, but it has been there in Western countries earlier. It is called reverse mortgage. Some of you may be knowing it. What the banks will do is they will mortgage your house where you are staying, and they will give you money not in lump sum. You can take money monthly based on your how much money you need for expenditure, 30, 40, 50,000 rupees or 20, whatever you want monthly, they will give you monthly. And after a lifetime, bank will ask, go and this is mortgage to the bank. Bank will go to your children and they say that your property, father's property is with me. Yes, I have given him monthly this much money. If you want this property, pay this money to me and take the property back. Otherwise, the bank will sell it and they take their money and whatever is left will be given to the children. This is meant for those poor people, old people, advanced age, who are living by retirement. Now, even the retirement monies are less now because if you have a fixed rental income as an only income, rental income has come down. So those people, even this is available. I mean, this is not a happy thing to tell you, but the only reason I put here is that there is an opportunity even like this now. Okay, now the last question is, how can you help you? I think you can help in a lot of organizations like you. Muslim community were once the biggest traders in India, in Kerala, but they are not anywhere now. They have very limited role in modern business. Very few public limited companies owned by Muslims. They are very poor, very small share in the share market. They are not there in IT segment, only half Muslim is Premji. Other than that, there is no Muslim in the IT segment. And we need a massive financial literacy drive. I think if organizations like you can do it, you don't need people like me to come and talk. Everybody will be financially advised in the time of crisis or otherwise. Actually, you need to do this because before the next crisis, God forbid, comes, our people will be at least a little more literate on these things. There are a lot of special training institutions available, and your children who are doing your business, or they can go during summer classes and all for these trainings. And see, what we need is to save our community, things like private equity fund, venture capital fund, and angel investors in startup and all. We don't have anything which is Sharia compliant. So we need a big, massive work in these areas, basically financial literacy and understanding what is available there and how do we manage it. Thank you. I think I took much more time than I should be taking. So I have 5 minutes left now. Sorry for that. I am not a professional speaker, so I cannot time it and finish it like that. So I am a man of detail. Unfortunately, Nawaz Dabu knows me in Tasni when we were working together. He had hard time from me because I am a man of detail. So that's why I'm sorry I couldn't finish it on time.
Okay,
So,
thank you, CH Raheem Sahib. Your speech was very apt for the current time and situation. Can we have 5 minutes for any question and
yeah, sure.
answers?
I will ask, tell Asad, Dr. Asad, I'm late by 5 minutes. Don't worry. Okay.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
Dr. Amir aane Kuwait.
Yes, Dr. Amir.
Very good speech. I was lying down on my bed, planning to sleep off. That's why my is off. But your talk went on and on, and it was in such nice way. I really appreciate your sound advices during this crisis period. The special thing that I liked was, telling to take care of the person on the corner shop.
Yeah.
That matters, we go down to a big mall or big hypermarket, planning to buy something for 100 rupees, and we end up buying 500.
Correct.
Maybe we would have saved, paid 5% more than what you would have paid at the corner shop. But then not only is it saving for us, but also we have to be very careful that these corner shops survive in this crisis.
Sure.
That message of yours is very well taken. Also, your message, especially targeting our NRIs, telling them to be careful when it comes to investing or buying things or doing things by taking a loan and using these credit cards. Points are very well noted. May Allah bless you with good health, and thank you very much for this lecture.
Thank you, and hope, I don't know whether this is what Mohammed Saab and Nazir Bhai and everybody expecting, I don't know.
Surely, Siyash, this was a very, very, very good informative speech. But, now I am considering of forwarding this to my children.
Yeah.
They should have been...
hope you are not given your credit card number to them.
No. But I am using my son's credit card.
Okay, that's still better.
So, surely I am going to pass this information. Many of our group may be considering this.
Okay, good.
Because this will be more useful to them, not to us.
Sure.
So, if
the financial literacy, Mohammed Saab, our youngsters also, we should have it. I mean, I think that's very important. Financial literacy for youngsters is more important than us. For us, we're all 65 plus. God knows how many more years we'll be here. But inshallah. But our children, I think youngsters, they should have financial literacy much better than what we had in our time.
Yes. എല്ലാ വിവരങ്ങളും കിട്ടുമ്പോൾ പിന്നെ ആവശ്യം കഴിയുമ്പോഴാണല്ലോ ഇപ്പൊ അവര് വിളിച്ചാൽ ഇങ്ങനത്തെ ഒന്ന് അറ്റൻഡ് ചെയ്യാൻ അവര് വരില്ല.
Correct. Somehow you should encourage them.
Okay, anybody, it was very good. Thank you very much.
Any questions?
Any questions?
Yeah, well, it was really informative, and it is sort of a reminder for most of us. Maybe I have two queries. One is it's very simple. You said that for a repatriation plan, and many of us probably will be thinking of having a repatriation later, and you said cash is the king. Right. But in which form you want to keep this cash? Because why I'm asking this is like when people come back home, you require liquidity mainly. So that liquidity, how you need to keep that cash. And second is you have touched on some of the mutual funds, especially the Sharia compliant mutual funds like Tata's and the Taurus, etc. But do you think that is proper Sharia ones, or do you how you consider this basically?
Yeah, the first question, keeping your savings, and Faisal Saab, I think I am a very strong propagandist of Islamic banking, Islamic finance. I'm the one, Alhamdulillah, introduced AICL 25 years back in Kerala. But I will not hesitate to tell you that keep your money in the bank there. You take interest and give it to somebody else. But don't put your money, any investment now, thinking that it will grow when you come. Remote control, nothing will happen. It will be only a problem. So don't do anything business, any business in remote control, and put your money in investment and all. Put your money in, Alhamdulillah, in the bank. Don't put anywhere else. And my honest opinion, some of the Sharia scholars and Muslims and all will not agree, but I'm sorry, this is my personal opinion. Number two is you talk about the how far is Sharia, this data and all. See, Sharia is in even the Islamic banks. I don't know any Islamic bankers are in the group. Sorry if they have. In my opinion, most of these Islamic bank products are. If you ask me whether are they really Islamic, my answer is not really. But if we are talking about relative merit and relative dismerit, and also we are talking about a transitional products. Because we have a lot of problem in India, for example, to get this Islamic finance and all company and all done. So that is where the problem is. But the Taurus both have a big screening committee of Muslim scholars based in Bombay, both of them. So first of all, to make it a little more comfortable to you, this mutual fund do not have any bank shares. They do not have any insurance company shares. They do not have in that basket, they do not have any liquor company shares. So none of those things are there. They make sure that not those shares are not there. Secondly, in terms of companies who are having highly leveraged, they also have a threshold. Companies who are more than 20% of the requirement is also not there. So it is screened. I would say that under the circumstances, they are Islamic. I think I will not doubt that.
Okay, thanks. And actually, that is one of the areas where our community is actually lacking, and investment mainly is in this mutual funds, mainly because it has that option of like systematic investment planning, and later you have that systematic withdrawal plan also. So it is actually a good sort of a instrument where our community is not like indulgent. Probably, maybe that is one thing we need to look at. Thanks, anyway.
Okay, sure.
Thank you. I think we don't have much time. Maybe one more question.
Yeah, one question, CH. Why don't we AICL invest in mutual funds? So why don't they start a mutual fund? Is it a
you need, as I told you now, Saab, you need expertise for this. This is a very risky thing. So ISCL, unfortunately, we don't have very qualified people to handle. This is a very specialized field. So we need good people to do that. So they're thinking, inshallah, they get good people will do it.
Because AICL lacks liquidity now. This is what I understand.
I mean, even if there is like lack of liquidity, but in mutual fund, you don't need big amount. You can start with even 10 lakhs rupees.
Yeah.
So we they are thinking about it, but as I said, the problem is the expertise.
You are part of the executive board, right?
I'm in the board, but board people cannot do that. It has to be done in the executive should be there.
I see. Mm-hmm.
So I think that's the end of the question answer section. I'll call up our General Secretary, Mr. Nawaz Dawood, to give the vote of thanks.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Once again, thank you for giving me an opportunity. And please pray and may Allah accept it as a Amal Saliyat for you listening and for me talking. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, inshallah. Alhamdulillah, it was really great, Raheem Saab. It brings out my old memories when you said that Friday Forum was the first to associate with you for a Triple F. I think Faisal Bawa will recollect we both going and seeing Faisal, CH maybe how many years? Maybe
25 years.
23, 24 years.
And we took over Harmony magazine distribution in Kuwait. Alhamdulillah. After that, I had an opportunity to work with Triple F, and I also had a very golden opportunity to be CH being my boss for how much, maybe 5 years or 4 years. Really was a very good learning thing for in my professional life. Actually, thank you very much, CH, for all those things. And your presentation was really good. You attempted and you covered all the areas. You didn't leave any area untouched, like you used to have going for detail for everything. It was really good. All fields were touched, even investor, ladies, gents, everyone, for children, everything, it was good. And those tips, I think we will make it in a capsule way and promote your tips one by one to our members and outside. That's what we will do that. We have got a YouTube channel. We will try to do that actually. And I also like to thank each one of our, first of all, our members, Friday Forum members, and I find many outside members also joining this team. Even some Tasmi friends also had joined. I don't see them now here. Dr. Saab, thank each one of you for coming, and we will inshallah continue this process. We have got many portfolios. So we'll try to have one speech per portfolio every month. As Mohammed Saab said, every third Friday or Sunday, whatever it is possible. Even Friday Forum also is planning for such webinars. This is what I understand from them. So inshallah, this is a good opportunity to meet all of us. And before it was difficult. Now this is an opportunity because of COVID. We have got this opportunity that we all meet each other without, like people from America has also joined us, Dr. Jalil. Dr. Jalil, you are in America, or where are you, doctor?
No.
You unmute yourself.
I'm joining. Yeah, I'm joining. Thank
Yeah.
you.
So we have got people from all part of the world joining us together. This is what COVID has given us this opportunity.
Thank you. I need to leave because I got.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank